Hello, it's Sheila with the Grateful Goddess, and we're here today in Salt Lake City. We just arrived, so we're, that travel not looking really great, but I just met Linda, and she has such a powerful message to share about breast cancer. This is the first I've met her, so I don't know exactly what's going to come out of this interview. We'll find out. So, welcome, Linda.
Thank you.
And so go ahead and tell us a little bit about your story and why you've gotten so passionate about breast cancer research and your new event that you're putting together, Think Beyond the Pink.
Well, who knows where to start? I mean, it's a long story, but basically, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was floored because, number one, I didn't have any of the supposed risk factors except that I was a woman and I was over 50. And I thought I had done everything right. I was a health and PE teacher, was very active. I cooked for my family. I thought we ate a healthy diet. And it just didn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was going through the treatments, I kept asking my doctors, well, why did this happen? And they just, well, we don't know why it happens. And it was getting me so frustrated because I wanted answers, because I didn't want to be walking around with this cloud for the rest of my life worrying that it's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that if I didn't figure out why, I wouldn't figure out how to get well. And the treatments themselves were kind of freaking me out. I just didn't feel comfortable with them. So I went through the whole thing and conversing with other women who were like-minded, and we started becoming so empowered by what we were learning on our own. We were reading books like Dr. Northrop's book, The Wisdom of Menopause, Dr. Strand's book, What Your Doctor Doesn't Know About Nutrition, Anti-Cancer by Dr. Severin. It just went on and on and on. I was like a vulture for books. I mean, I have stacks all over my house. They were, just kind of the lifeblood. Every time I read a book, I became more and more empowered. And that's what I needed to do, was get my power back, because nothing zaps you of your power more than being told you have cancer. So I just kept reading and reading, and the more I read, the more I learned, and I thought, you know what, I was learning things that nobody had ever told me, like the link between breast cancer and root canals, the link between breast cancer and hypothyroidism, and iodine deficiency, the things that really made sense to me, because then I started looking at the symptoms of those things and going back and realizing, well, yeah, I was just connecting the dots, being my own detective.
Mm-hmm.
The more I did that, the more I became at peace that I was going to figure this out and I wasn't going to have to worry about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, well, wait a minute, I was a teacher, and I'm always a teacher at heart. I got to teach other women this, so they don't end up having to go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
So I started a website called Prevent Cancers, like the word answers,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to talk about the answers about prevention and some of the answers to questions that I wasn't getting, and I wanted people to actually share their experience.
And I'll give you all this information at the bottom of it so that you can.
They would learn that they can prevent this disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
So what are some of the steps you think need to be taken in order to prevent the disease?
Well, first of all, Think Beyond the Pink means it's not just about women. It means it's not just about breast cancer. It's
Mm-hmm.
about all cancers. Pretty much all cancers have the same causes. Cancer's caused by our environment.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the universal environment, but your own personal environment. Think Beyond the Pink means let's think beyond looking for the cure. Let's think about raising awareness that this is a preventable disease.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why we need to continue to be, just spending all this money treating cancer and not spending a dime on preventing it. Because,
Mm-hmm.
as Ben Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We need to get back to that. Think Beyond the Pink means, let's think about when we do fundraisers, keeping the money in our community.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I'm doing, in October, my big event, is going to go towards young adults in our community with autism.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a void for children when they get from the school age to adulthood. So I just thought that's a much better cause than those.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that we're not doing any overhead. All of the money that we collect after we pay our expenses, everybody who's working on it is doing it voluntarily, and it's going to go right to the charity.
Mm-hmm. So your primary concern and area is in education and understanding of causes so that you can work on prevention.
Well, I have three words that I use on my website,
Mm-hmm.
and the first word is inspiration. I want us to inspire each other to get well and to stay well. The second is information. We need to get the truth out there. we're not going to get it from our media. Our media is so one-sided. I mean, basically, our health news is nothing but press releases. They get a press release from a company, and that's what they report. And it's not always the facts. And then the third thing is empowerment. We need to empower each other, which is, I know what you do. You know, once you get this, you're inspired, and once you get this information, you're empowered to take your life in your own hands. And that's what we each need to do. We can't rely on the government or the doctors, you know, or anybody else to get us well. We have to get ourselves well. And we have to be willing to spend the time and money on wellness. You know?
Right, right. Okay, so you've got a big event coming up in October, Think Beyond the Pink. Tell me a little bit more about what all is going to be included in your event.
Well, we're going to have a Friday night dinner where we're going to have a celebration of the girls. You know, the girls.
All right, good.
And we're just going to have great music and great food that's breast healthy. And then we're going to have survivors and doctors and people come up, stand up and give 10 minutes of inspiration. You know, whatever they want to talk about. And then Saturday is going to be about, so that's Friday night is inspiration night. Saturday is information. And throughout the day I'm going to have several doctors come and speak about wellness. I have an incredible group of doctors. One of the speakers is Dr. Hal Huggins, who is like the godfather of holistic dentistry, and he's going to talk about the link between toxic teeth and breast cancer. A wonderful young woman named Stephanie Bewis, who is a thyroid cancer survivor, who, like me, is very passionate about teaching people about the thyroid health, and she has an online forum that thousands of people from around the world follow. And she's going to educate people about the use of iodine and how important that is to our health. We have the president of Santa Vive Hospital in Baja California, which is an incredible place to go to not only learn about, you know, what you need to do for your own health, but you know, you can go there for cancer treatments and MS and all kinds of diseases. Just an incredible place. And then she's also, that's her name is Elaine Pace, and she's also going to be talking about healthy lifestyle choices. And then I have a couple of local doctors, women doctors, who are going to be speaking about thermography. And if there's anything I want to promote as much as possible, it's thermography.
Yes.
If, you know, the only reason we do not have thermography as a standard of care is because we do not have an insurance code. And the reason we don't have an insurance code is that because the mammogram industry continues to fight it. And we as women need to stand up and say, you know what, these are our breasts. We don't want to continue to subject ourselves to toxic mammograms that compress and injure our breasts, that radiate our breasts, when there's something that's just as viable. I can say it's just as good because I'm telling you, it gives me such peace of mind that I can go and actually see my breasts, you know, as they change. If young women started doing it at an early age and got to know their breasts, if they saw changes in their breasts, they could nip it in the buds, you know. They could turn around and do healthy things and actually see their breast health improve. That's why I love thermography so much. And if we can get more women to do it, even though they have to pay it out of pocket, and start demanding it and get an insurance code, it should be a standard of care. And I hope it will be.
Yeah. I know Dr. Northrup wrote about that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of holistic doctors are are touting it. Unfortunately, they're not the ones with the biggest voice.
Right.
You know? But as women, we play telephone tag really good, you know, and we just, you know, one person tells and one person tells and one person tells, and the next thing you know, we've got all these voices yelling, we want thermography.
Right.
And that's what we have to do. I mean, one of the things that we have to go look at is 20 years ago, the standard of care for mammogram was just cut it off. You know, you have a tumor, you lose your breast. That's it. Little tiny thing, they cut it off. Well, French women decided they did not want to lose their breasts, and they started demanding that their doctors just take out the tumor. And lo and behold, that's how the lumpectomy was born. And it took 10 years after it was very successful in France for it even to be adopted in America. And it wasn't adopted in America until American women heard about it and said, well, I want to do it the way the French women are doing it. And now it's a standard of care. You know, if you do not have a tumor that is spread, you know, you get a choice. Or basically, you know, you don't even have to worry about being choosy. They'll tell you, you know, it doesn't warrant a mastectomy, you know, we'll just take the lump out.
Right, right.
So as women, we can stand up and we can be heard, and that's what I'm trying to do with Think Beyond.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.